Good afternoon, dear students. You are welcome to GSE 112 class, Basic General Mathematics 2 this semester. Now, the school management has made it possible for us to access this course through the video tutorial, through the video classes, and because of this, I would want every one of us to maximize this opportunity and make a good grade out of this opportunity. This course this semester will be spanning through 5 outlines, and the first is expansion and factorization of simple algebraic expression. Number 2, simple algebraic equation and methods of solutions. 3, simple word problems. 4, ratios, percentages, simple and compound interest. And 5, variation, where we shall be talking about direct and indirect variation. So those are the 5 outlines that these courses revolve around, and I want to tell you it's one of the simplest courses this semester. All you need to do is pay full attention to details. Make sure you maximize this great opportunity and make sure you make yourself available and make yourself ready to assimilate. Now, going by the courses, the first outline, expansion and factorization of simple algebraic expression. Now, on the general note, when you are talking about algebra, you are trying to combine alphabets and numbers. Alphabets and numbers. So you'll be having a lot of alphabets coming alongside with numbers, and how you try to work on them. That's what we are doing this semester. Example number 1. We have simplify 9a minus 5a minus 8a plus 10a. As you can see, the 9 is a number, the a is an alphabet. So that's what we are talking about. 9a minus 5a minus 8a plus 10a. Now you can see all of them are of the same variable. They are all a's. So it's easy to work with. Along the line, we shall be having many, we'll be having x, y, z, and the likes like that. So pay full attention to how we get these things to work out, and pay full attention to the step-by-step approaches to them. Now the solution to this shall be having this solved in either 2 ways. Either we group them, either positive terms together and the negative terms together, or we just solve them out as directed numbers. Now, what does that mean? Looking at this number here, 9a minus 5a minus 8a plus 10a. Now, you can discover that 2 of these values are positive. That is the 9a and the 10a. And then 2 others are also negative. That is the minus 5a and minus 8a. Now, before we continue, this 9a has an invisible positive sign here. Is that okay? So you won't include it since it is the starting point of your numbering or your expression or your equation. Let's assume it is a negative sign, then you must include it. Is that okay? But because it is positive, you need not to include it. So we have 2 positive numbers there. The 9 is positive, 9a, and the 10a is positive. So you can solve this out by either grouping those positives together and group the negatives together. Is that okay? Now let's go by it. You have 9a plus 10a. Now the positives are grouped together already. Now minus 5a, then minus 8a. Good. You can see that the 9a and the 10a are the positives. Then the 5a minus 5a and the minus 8a are the negatives. Group together, then from that junction we can solve further. Now 9a plus 10a, that will give us 19a. Is that okay? Then negative 5a and negative 8a will give you negative 13. Negative 13a. Is that okay? Now, solving it finally, 19a minus 13a, that will give you what? 6a. I think it's very clear, very simple to go by. Group the positives together, group the negatives together, then solve it out. Then second steps as you could use to this is just solve it as directed numbers. Just solve it as the numbers approaches. For example, you have 9a here minus 5a minus 8a plus 10a. So you need not to group it positive or negative wise. Just solve it out like that. 9a minus 5a will give you 4a. That's 4a minus 8a plus 10a. Now from that junction, 4a minus 8a. Now, the 4 here is positive, the 8 is negative. You have positive 4. Let's assume that a is orange. You have 4 oranges, which is positive. That means you have it at your credit. Then the 8a, let's assume the a is oranges also. That means negative 8a means you are owing somebody 8 oranges. Is that okay? So when you now have 4, you are owing somebody 8. When you pay out the 4, you are still left with the debt of extra 4. So this one will carry a negative sign of 4a. Is that clear? Very good. Then plus your 10a. Now still the same approach. You are holding somebody 10 oranges. Let's assume the A stands for oranges or apple. Then you have 10 oranges or apple. Is that okay? You are holding somebody 4. You have 10. So when you pay out the 4, you are left with positive 6. You are left with positive 6. So that will give you 6a. That will give you 6a. And that is the final answer for that. The same thing with what we had there. I think there's no problem with that. Very good. So from that junction, let's take a look at this very, very simple example. Call it example number 2. Example 2. 5x minus 8x plus x plus 3y. Now you can see here we have 2 variables. Unlike the first example, that all the variables are here. Now we have 2 variables, x and y. X and y. X and y. Now you have to make sure first you collect the variables that are the same at one junction, and the other variables that are different at another junction. You call it collecting the like terms. The terms that are the same thing. Is that okay? Now the x, 5x, 8x, and the single x. Now this x without number here means it is 1x. Is that okay? When you have something like this, it means it is 1x. I think you are familiar with that already. So from that junction, let's group it out and solve from there. 5x minus 8x plus x plus 3y. Solution. You have 5x. Let's collect the positive first together to make it a little bit easy. Remember we used that method the other time. Now all the x are together. The positive first, followed by the negative, then the y is on the other side. 5x plus x, that will give you 6x. Don't forget I told you there is an invisible one here. That's 6x minus 8x. I think there's no problem with that. And we can move on. Then plus 3y. 6x. Don't forget there is an invisible positive sign here. That means it is your own. Then negative 8x. That means it's a debt. So if you pay your 6 out of your 8, you are left with 2x. That's the debt. That's negative 2x. Is that okay? Plus 3y. That's the final answer. But for convenience sake, it is better you write it like this. You write this first because of the positive sign. 3y minus 2x. That's the final answer. I think there's no problem with that. And it is very easy to go by. Now on this simple examples, I will give you some class activities. I'll give you some class activities, and your class activities are to be submitted before the next class. Your class activities are to be submitted before the next class. So on these are the class activities. Number 1, 13x plus 8y minus 5x minus y. We have to simplify them. Simplify the following. Number 2, 12m minus 9n minus 5m plus 14n. Number 3, 6p minus 3p plus 2p plus 6q. 6q. Number 4, 8d minus 6 minus 5d. Number 5, 9z minus 3x plus 4x. Now, that simple class activity, you have to solve them and submit them before the next class. And that will take us to the next section, still under the first topic, and that is removing brackets. Removing brackets. Removing brackets. Now, if any quantity multiplies the terms inside the bracket, every term inside that bracket will be multiplied by that quantity. Now, I will show you an example of what we're talking about. For example, if you have example 1 now, if you have something like this, a into bracket x plus y. Now, this a as a quantity, multiplying anything in the bracket, that a will multiply all the values in that bracket. So that means if you are going to be doing this, you have your a multiplied by x plus your a multiplied by y. And that will give you ax plus ay. Ax plus ay. Is that okay? Now this is a multiplication sign. This is your x. This is a multiplication sign. This is your y. So a multiplied by x, a plus a multiplied by y. And that gives you this. Is that okay? Good. Now let us look at this example 2. We try to remove the bracket of this example 2. 3x into bracket 2 minus x minus 5 into bracket 6 plus x minus 2x squared. Now look at that example. We have 2 brackets there. We have 2 brackets there. The first one, the first quantity in bracket is 2 minus x. The other is 6 plus x minus 2x squared. Then at the beginning of each bracket, here you have 3x, and here you have minus 5. Is that okay? Now opening this bracket, We give you something like this. 3x multiplied by 2. Let me write it here so that it saves the stress of turning the neck. Minus 5 into bracket 6 plus x minus 2x squared. Okay? Good. 3 multiplied by 2. 3x multiplied by, don't forget the x, so 3x multiplied by 2. That will give you 6x. Is that okay? 3x multiplied by negative x. Don't forget that negative times negative will give you positive. Negative times positive will give you negative. Then positive times positive will give you positive. That's the background knowledge. You already should have known that. So this is positive 3 multiplied by negative x. That will give you negative 3x squared. This means we have 2x here. That's why it is x squared. 3x, then second x. I think there's no problem with that. Good. So you can stop this at this junction. Then you now open this other bracket with the negative 5. Is that okay? Good. Minus 5 multiplied by positive 6. Negative 5 multiplied by positive 6. That will give you negative 30. Is that okay? Negative 5 multiplied by positive x. That will give you negative 5x. Is that okay? Negative 5 multiplied by negative 2x squared. Now 5 times 2. Okay, negative times negative. I told you that's positive. 5 times 2. That's 10. Then your x squared. I think there's no problem to that junction. We can move on. Now, what we need to do now is to collect the terms that are related, or you call it like terms. Collect the like terms. Collect the like terms. Now start with the one that has the highest degree. Now the x squared has the highest degree. Now let's start with the one that has positive. So that will be 10x squared. This also has an higher degree. Minus 3x squared. Then the one with x plus 6x minus 5x, then minus 30. Now cross check it. Make sure none is left out. Make sure none is left out. Your 10x squared, we brought it here first because it has the higher degree, or the highest degree, because the highest degree is squared. Is that okay? And it is positive. Though you write minus 3x squared first, but it will be more convenient for you start with positive number. Is that okay? So you have 10x squared, then minus 3x squared, then you go for the ones with x. That's positive 6x, negative 5x, then minus 30. I think we've captured all the values we have there. Then the next thing is to solve further from this junction. 10x squared minus 3x squared. 10 minus 3, that's 7. Then your x squared remains the same. Is that okay? 6 minus 5, 1. So that will be positive 1 plus x. You need not to put the 1. Is that okay? You need not to put 1, then minus 30. That's the final answer. Because at this junction, we are only asked to just simplify to this junction. Is that okay? As the class goes on, from this junction, we will have to simplify further. Now then we start factorization, we start factorizing, and but for the purpose of this, we are just to remove the bracket. And you will see there is no more bracket there. Good. Can we move on? Let's take one more example. Let's take one more example on this. So example 3. Example 3. Look at this example 3. It has 3a, a and b. When you say 4 multiplied by 3a minus 5, and b, 4 into bracket 3a minus 5, the answers will be different. the answer of this thing will be different. For example, the first one will give you, this will give you 4 times 3, 12a minus 5. That's the answer. Is that okay? Why? There is no bracket. You just solve it out like that. But here, you have to multiply this 4 by each of the items in the bracket. Good. So this will give you 4 times 3, that's 12a. Then 4 times negative 5, that's negative 20. As you see, the answers are different because of the introduction of the bracket. Is that okay? Good.